Ever wondered what kind of tactical style is best for your team? Well, you gotta kind of start by understanding what these tactical styles actually do. And on today's show, that's what I plan to do. My name is Daljit, this is Bustthenet. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification button to stay in touch for more videos like this. Making a tactic is fairly easy. Once you start understanding how roles and duties combine, you start being less trial and error with creating systems. How do you begin though? How do you decide on the tactical style of football you're after? Is there an easy way in the game to learn this quickly? Actually, there is. It's really simple, but I doubt people actually spend time thinking about it. A good way to start is basically trying to understand the tactical presets and why certain team instructions were used in the first place. Today's show isn't about creating a tactic, it's about understanding how you get certain styles in the game. To achieve different styles in Football Manager, we need to understand the main elements: mentality, in possession, and out of possession. These three have tactical instructions that combine to provide a style. One of the presets in the game is called control possession. Essentially, it uses instructions to achieve this style of football. Let's look at how they contribute. The first thing I will focus on is what happens when they don't have the ball. They operate with a high defensive line, which positions them high up on the pitch. This means they will play further away from their goal. It also means that if they lose the ball, they now have more ground to cover. The higher line of engagement tells the team that they want to start pressing in the opponent's half. More urgent as a pressing instruction suggests that more than one player will close the opponent down. Is this ideal? Finally, the prevent shot goalkeeper distribution allows the team to change its shape to prevent the keeper from passing the ball out to their defenders. The instructions combine to define a playable area on the pitch. This particular style wants to encourage the team to play in the opponent's half. The urgent pressing and prevent shot goalkeeper distribution doesn't want to give the opponents time and space on the ball. We can expect this side to need good skills on the ball to work the ball out under pressure. To ensure they keep possession of the ball, they use counter press. This instruction encourages the team to try and win the ball back immediately after losing it. It's risky if they don't have the right players for it, because if they fail to counter press successfully, they could be vulnerable on the break. These instructions together build a foundation for creating a possession-centric tactic. Mentality now influences how they deal with the decisions on the pitch. A lower mentality will make them more likely to play a safer, controlled style of football, while a higher mentality could see them doing this with more risk. They could try longer passes, more difficult passes, or even, close down more aggressively. Even though counter is not chosen, it could happen, but the priority is not always to try and hit teams on the break. Keeping the ball is generally the goal of a controlled possession system like this. The Gegen style is slightly different. It shares a lot of TIs in common with control possession, by slight variations. Firstly, it has a slightly riskier style of football reflected by its higher mentality, its higher tempo, and the fact that players are more willing to try risky passes. It has a slightly different style that comes from how it's changed some of the team instructions, most notably width. By playing on a narrower width setting, it encourages more play inside. Wider players may not see the ball as often as central midfielders. This could be further encouraged by using focus through the middle. The system is more aggressive than a normal control possession system because it also uses counter-pressing and counter together. Here, the team style is reflected by how it wants to react when it loses the ball. When it has to defend, it looks for any chance to hit teams on the break. When it loses the ball during an attack, it wants to win the ball quickly and resume attacking. It shares the same principles as the control possession system by playing in the opponent's half, but the styles are slightly different. The difference lies in how it's used some of the team instructions, notably width, tempo, counter and counter pressing, and the higher line of engagement. Gegen is a more aggressive, high tempo style. Whether the side has the ball or not, it wants to continually apply pressure, hence the use of counter pressing, counter, a high line of engagement, high tempo and urgent pressing. The two styles aren't very different. The similarity begins with how they play in the opponent's half by adopting a high line. Both styles want to control possession. One seeks to do it safely and the other is more gung-ho. The key elements in creating a possession-centric system lie in the line of engagement and the defensive line. A higher defensive line allows the defenders to play a bigger role in midfield transitions, and a higher line of engagement allows the team to play in the opponent's half. These combine to create a compact team that is operating in the opponent's half. Gegen just happens to be very aggressive compared to control possession. The dynamic relationship of defensive line and line of engagement creates the building blocks for most styles. A higher line of engagement and a higher defensive line could be used by sides who want to apply loads of pressure. Lowering the defensive line reduces the commitment of your defenders in supporting your midfield. Raising it pushes them further from their goal and increases the chance of being hit on the break by balls over the top. Understanding how to use the line of engagement and defensive line will allow you to create different styles. When playing in the opponent's half, your style of play should dictate that you win the ball and prevent the opposition from building up play from defense. This can be aggressive and fraught with risk. Your players will need to be good on the ball and be able to work the ball under pressure. They will need to be able to anticipate counter-attacks and be able to snuff them out. One could also build a style where you don't camp in the opponent's half, allowing the opposition some room to build play up. Here you could adopt the standard or higher line of engagement, opting to try and win the ball in midfield. How you set your defensive line will be important. How much support do you want your defenders to provide? This again is a function of your defensive line. A lower line of engagement will see your side defending in their own half. This acts to draw opposing teams in before you start pressing. Thereafter, your choice of team instructions, roles and duties will affect how you behave in transitions. So if you wanted a counter-attacking system, you would play with a lower line of engagement. How low depends on how deep you want your block to be. Your defensive line will influence the gap between your midfield and defense. When you look at the wing play preset, you'll notice it derives its style mainly from how the line of engagement works to draw teams in. Then, with its overlaps on the flanks instruction, it seeks to create overloads there for you to direct the ball to. A more direct style of football encourages passing into space and makes sure that passes don't take too long to develop. Note how the line of engagement and the passing style have helped create that style. If you want to create any kind of style, the first thing you need to deal with is deciding your line of engagement and defensive line. This defines where you want to play your football. How your style evolves from there is going to be affected by team instructions on how you want to use the ball and behave on and off it. Ultimately, how your team plays together comes from roles and duties. These will influence where critical decisions are being made on the pitch. Drop a few playmakers in the middle, keep it narrow like the tiki-taka system, and your play revolves around the middle. If you want your side to avoid the middle so much, then don't use playmakers. Systems like my 4-4-2 can be played without playmakers. The Galileo system from FM19 was made with the express purpose of avoiding the use of central playmakers. I wanted play to go down the flanks and I kept it simple. Your next step in creating a style is deciding how you are going to use all that space. Now you think in terms of specific positions. Which areas of the pitch are you going to use to build up play? Do you plan on being patient or direct? Ignore mentality. Just think of how roles and duties work together. So how do you choose the right defensive line? This depends on how good your defenders are at recovering back to their defensive positions. A high line needs players that are positionally aware, have good concentration, anticipation and positioning. Acceleration can help cover up any weak mental attributes. A high line of engagement demands high work rate from your midfield and a good dose of bravery and determination. Players need to cover every blade of grass when you play in the opponent's half to win the ball back. They will also need good first touch, balance, agility, passing and off the ball to keep the ball in the final third. When in doubt, go with a standard defensive line and a standard line of engagement and adjust from there as you get to know your players. You could also depend on your assistant manager. If he has good tactical knowledge and good judging player ability, he will suggest a tactical style for you. This could be a good starting point for you to use a specific style. The roles and duties will be provided for you with tactical presets, and they are usually quite good. Once you start getting familiar with how different roles and duties work together, you can start making your own styles of football. For anyone just starting the game, I strongly recommend beginning with presets and understanding why these are being used the way they are. Once you get better, you can start building your own styles. Let's now take a look at how I would deal with creating a specific style. I plan to create a very simple tactical system that revolves around delivering balls into space created by a lower line of engagement. Down the left flank, I'm hoping that the wide target man and the Mazzala can work together to create opportunities for both the attacking duties in the final third. If we do end up camping in the opponent's half, I expect the overlapping right back to provide extra width as the winger on attack attacks the box, giving us a two-pronged attack inside the box. When we lose the ball, the priority is not to win the ball back with a counter press because it causes us to lose our shape. My goal is very simple. When we do lose the ball, the team's priority is to regroup and then look for opportunities to counter attack when we have won the ball back. Because we're not a very good team, I don't plan on using player on the defense, because player on the defense will encourage these 3 players to drop a bit deeper. Instead, what I will do is I'll tell the keeper to distribute it to the fullbacks, and we will use these opportunities to build play up. It's a very simple, uncomplicated system that's allowed us to top the table in the Vanrama National League South. Well, if you're just starting out, I definitely recommend using the tactical presets. If you're very comfortable with the game and you understand what the roles and duties actually do, I doubt you're going to use trial and error. You probably already have a very good idea of how you want to set your tactics up. To get from point A to point B, well, it takes some time and effort. But the best way to start is to understand how line of engagement and defensive line can go about creating different kinds of systems. And that is actually the secret. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you want to catch up with me, you can always follow me on Twitch. I tend to stream quite a lot nowadays. And you can always follow my Twitter handle at Bustthenet to find out when I stream next. Once again, I want to thank everybody for their continual support of this channel. You make this kind of shows possible for the rest of the community. You guys take care. Have a good one. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.